Welcome back. This is KDS Reviews, and I'm KDS. We review movies, books, and video games. Today is getting closer and closer to the Emmys. It's about TV. So let's talk about some of these TV shows, all on physical media. In my opinion, these are the top 10 TV shows of all time. Let's talk about number 10, Kolchak, The Night Stalker. This is a story about a reporter who always got involved with like Dracula, the Wolfman, the Headless Horseman. He always took pictures. He had these stories, but he never had any proof to prove them. Somehow or another, his camera would go bad or would get destroyed. He never was able to prove some of the stories that he went out on. This was the X-Files, before the X-Files, starring Darren McGavin. That's Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Up next, Spencer. We got Spencer for Hire, starring Robert Urich and Avery Brooks. He played a PI in the city of Boston, had all these good stories on it. Had all these stories about what he was. He was an ex-boxer and everything. Great acting, especially by Avery Brooks. It spawned that show, A Man Called Hawk. It was a very good show. They only got canceled because it became too expensive to produce. Spencer for Hire. Coming in at number 8, Miami Vice. It's got a little damage there on the move. Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas, the soundtrack, the color, the clothes, the Ferrari, the guest stars that were in here. Bruce Willis was actually in here before Die Hard, before Moonlighting. This is a great soundtrack. The soundtrack went to number 1. And who can forget that theme? Miami Vice. Coming in at number 7. You're going to be surprised at this. This is actually above Miami Vice. But there would be no Miami Vice without this show. Starsky and Hutch. Starring Paul Michael Glaser and David Soul. They actually directed a couple of episodes from the first season of Miami Vice. This is another show. Very violent. The Gran Torino. Good chase scenes. Good stories. Good acting. Huggy Bear. That's Starsky and Hutch. Up next, we got Moonlighting. That's Moonlighting. Starring Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. Did you know if you Google the word man on Google, a picture of Bruce Willis comes up? Actually, this show was actually being done while he was doing Die Hard, during the first season of Die Hard. It made him a big star. This is a great soundtrack. Matter of fact, it's on Hulu, but the music has changed because of a licensing fee. This is a very hard to find DVD. This show is really, really hard to find. I actually found this at, Goodwill, and only paid $3 for it. Moonlighting. We're getting closer and closer to the top. Star Trek. Do I need to say any more about that? Kirk, Spock, McCoy spawned several sequels, several movies. Really, when you think of syndication, you think of this show. Because this show was semi-popular when it was on. But then when it got in syndication, it exploded. And a lot of the conventions started because of Star Trek. We're getting closer and closer to the end. We're on number 4. What could that be? The X-Files, starring David Duchovny. Like I said, a lot of people on this show have been to our local convention, Pensacon. I've met several of them. Cigarette Smoking Man, Agent Skinner. They were all on here. This is some of the best writing I've ever seen on this show. Science fiction. It's about, not all of the episodes, but mainly during the first season, about were we being invaded by aliens? What was the big story behind it? Was it a government cover-up? And it got better. This show just got better and better. Now, all these shows can't say that. This got better and better. It was on The X-Files. And actually, the only one that I don't have on physical media because it keeps selling out. Make It So, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Now, this is where Baby Groot came from. But yeah, this is a very good show. Very good special effects. You know, really should have kept the mask on until the end of the show. But we'll excuse that. Down to the last two. The last two. But before we do the last two, honorable mentions just outside the top 10, and you're probably wondering why this wasn't in there. Magnum P.I., starring Tom Selleck. Another one just outside the top 10. Wise Guy with Ken Wall. And one more outside the top 10. Probably should have been in the top 10. Mission Impossible. The real Mission Impossible. Not that convoluted Tom Cruise movie. This is what the movie I thought I was going to go see was going to be like, but it wasn't. This is a lot better. It's better work, teamwork. It shows how they do with the villains. The villain would go on through the whole episode thinking they knew what was going on and didn't find out to the very end that they had been fooled. Mission Impossible. Now we're down to the last two. Could they be? Let's find out. At number 2, WandaVision. This is an epic show made by Marvel. This is better than a lot of their movies. It starts off one way, in black and white, and then it turns color like Wizard of Oz. This is a very good story about the Vision and how she becomes the Scarlet Witch, starring Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. There's actually going to be a sequel to this coming up pretty soon called Vision Quest. That's WandaVision. Very, very good. If you're a comic book fan and you haven't seen this, then you're not really a comic book fan. Number 1, the greatest show of all time, in my opinion. What could it be? Is it MASH? Is it ALF? Is it Friends? How about Family Ties? It's neither. This show has great writing in it, great acting. It shows that you don't need a whole lot. You just need a good storyteller and a good story. What is it? The number 1 show, in my opinion. Twilight Zone. Think about it. Think how many times you actually have watched this. Think about all the episodes you've seen 3 or 4 times. Serve Man, Eye of the Beholder, just to name a few. It is the greatest show they ever made. You could watch this show right now and just watch it again. I think I will. These are shows that, as you noticed, are all on physical media. If I want to watch Smuggler's Blues on Miami Vice, I don't have to pay $3.99 an episode. It's right there. You know, if I want to watch Big Man on Mulberry Street on Moonlighting, I don't have to go, oh, well, they took the music out. I've got it right there. That's why physical media is king. If you like this type of content, like, subscribe. Let's make some comments about what show you think is number 1. What show you think should have been on this list that wasn't on this list. And remember, every new videos are released every Wednesday, and I'll see you on the next video.